I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, call meeting in order. Shouldn't have approved today's agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed.
I've read and I'll approve the minutes for September 10th.
And I'll second that. Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Right. Motion passed. Meeting's 10, please.
I had a public health meeting last Tuesday. Kind of business as usual. We had, reports from the environmental health, couple of complaints, but Brian's on top of them and they had a, Lee County came down, the health department came down and did a little presentation for us, and our vax care that we get our free vaccines from, we're almost to the 3rd stage, so almost all the vaccines have been purchased back. And everything's going great. Leah's doing a great job. Got the stuff there if you want to read it. That's all I had. Oh, well, I met a couple of contractors up on the roof of the jail, so I think we're gonna have some competitive bids on the roof repair. So yeah, I've been busy doing that. That's all I have.
I had a Russ meeting over in, well, Pleasant. Pretty much business as usual. They've had an accountant that's good with QuickBooks fixing up like 10, 15-year-old records that are, when you're keeping 12 different community sewer systems, the records have got to be just right for what used to be FMHA, but now is, I forget the name of it, but to get everything in the right color. And then what used to be grants to county has changed their rates on like well plugging, water tests. I don't know if Brian and Dutch at your meeting, so if the auditor, or anybody needs the new regs, there they are. That's all I have.
Hey, on the LP tank, talked to Tracy this morning and talked to the elevator. It'd probably be easier to tell you what lines are not leaking. I guess the pressure relief valve is leaking, the regulators leaking, the plug that Tracy put some stuff on, it's got a small leak, but it's a lot better than what it was. The piping leaving the tank are leaking. So we're gonna have to get somebody in here to, they said they found leaks out everywhere they like, so. Not one leak, but
Multiple.
so that needs to be done. So,
Who handles stuff?
well, that's why I'm gonna go next and see if the elevator can get somebody. They said that usually you can't isolate a relief valve because that's the reason they don't want to leave somebody shut, but they said they can go around it. I don't know, but we might have to empty the tank.
Well, now's the time to.
Right. So I'm gonna get a hold of Justin when I get out of here and see if I can get somebody in here to
I'm assuming it's a pipe fitter of some sort that.
fix the lines to a valve. And then that way we can get it painted, get it back, build it again and.
Okay.
So.
Years ago, Blue Flame outfit from Kansas City. And we have a temporary tank to keep. Quite an ordeal.
Yeah, I'll see what they.
Quite the change from previous reports. They hunted finally, you know, the leaks every day.
Well, they used a sniffer. So artificial intelligence, they actually can get down what it's prepared for. It's not just a nose. I think they're just using their nose. And we was going through gas, so I knew we had to have some kind of a leak. We'll get the elevator going the right direction. 'Tis the season. So I think Hey Cindy, whenever you're ready.
General assistance, mobile food pantry took place, in August the 28th. It'll take place again on the 25th, so it's next week, yeah. And, still serving about 175 households. And then as far as the food pantry here in Wapello that serves Wapello, Oakville and Grandview, in July, I was not here last month to give you numbers, so I'm giving you both July and August. July had 40 households, 95 individuals, and August had 40 households and 88 individuals. As far as our office for phone and foot traffic, July, we had 60 phone, 45 foot, and in August, we had 45 phone and 18 foot traffic. Salvation Army kettles will go out here in October already. And as far as the Christmas wish tree, that will begin October 28th. The Salvation Army funds, we did go through all the headquarter funds. We do have some local funds. And so we will hopefully replenish all of that this winter. As far as notice of decisions, it was the busiest month that I've ever had in August, and we had 8 notice of decisions go out. There were 3 of them approved and 4 of them denied for various, or 5 of them denied for various reasons. Any questions?
Foot traffic changed quite a bit from one month to the other. Is
Yeah,
that historic or?
it just depends. If I can do the business over the phone, then I do that. If they have to come in and sign something, or I have to have copies of things, then yeah, it varies. Yeah.
Proteins, is that coming up?
Tyson gave a donation
Let's
just
see
a week ago, I believe it was, picked
Not
up
there.
several, yeah, so we're doing pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, yeah, it's very busy over there, but, yeah, they're keeping the shelves full, so doing
Excellent.
good.
Great news.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Okay, public input. Anything out there?
I was curious, brought this up, sent Sean a message, see if he had a chance to check into it, but some time ago, there was a gentleman that was wanting to work with the current owner of the trailer park. Purchased that, he had big grand plans to refurbish it, make it nice. Any news come back on that, or they just? looked right up?
I called him and it was, left him a message, there was no call back, so.
I think that would be fantastic to have that place improved, not only for the community, but for the residents.
If I had to take a guess, I would say the current owner probably submarined the plans. He's a little difficult to deal with.
That's too bad.
Cause he did
Anything
say the last time he was in here, it was trying to get some things he couldn't get out of him, so. I saw on Facebook Marketplace, there's a bunch of his trailers for sale. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Some pretty ridiculous prices, I thought, but for what they were,
So I take it the talks is quick because I seen that right after
Yeah.
that.
they're trying
They haven't
to
talked.
sell them and it doesn't look like they're being moved. They're selling them to live there, so. Yeah.
How many trailers are good out there?
None.
How many people lives there?
I don't know. Been in them for quite a while.
I'd like to know what kind of rent he gets out of a $500 trailer.
There's some of there, I don't believe are livable, but they're patching them together to.
Business.
So,
And say after the first row along the highway, there isn't probably much used on the row that goes back.
about half the court, maybe 30% is actually being rented and used. There's some trailers that aren't even on the lots, they're just empty lots.
Well, I heard you talking about campers on the lot out there, but I don't know.
It kind of falls along the same lines as a mobile home.
So
A trailer, yeah, you could probably put a trailer out there because it's
Can't put an RV,
can RV.
Why not already?
because it's in the ordinance, it's, And
Is that a county ordinance? Because that's not in the city.
It's county.
So you can't park RVs in a house and live out it,
You can park RVs into a mobile home.
or mobile home park. But not a residential, you can,
Yeah, some areas.
and live there.
But a
Questionable skeptics.
certain amount of time, you can't
Well,
park
then
it
the
forever.
camp, like we have trouble out on 61, them campers have to move once every 9 months.
Yeah, I don't know what the rule is anymore, but they can't be continuous residents for over 9 months, so I don't know if they have to be moved or. Anything else?
Not to change the subject, but I will. The food pantry, we put a new furnace in. Does Tracy check all the filters every so
It
often?
was,
Okay, I didn't, I haven't.
Yeah.
I just make
I
sure.
know he does.
Okay.
Because if you look in here, there's a checklist
Okay,
in here, and I assume there is over there, but
I'll,
I
I'll,
can't tell you for sure that he's done it, but.
I'll talk to him about it.
I sent you guys around the ambulance report, there's also a link.
I don't see.
I'm still working
Okay.
them over,
Everybody's seen the payroll changes,
so there's a lot of no transports.
one of them.
Yeah, it was a crazy month. Like yesterday morning was crazy. They had like 4 calls in a matter of like 12 minutes. It was crazy.
And,
He has a funeral.
oh, that's
Oh, his brother died, didn't he?
His uncle and his grandma.
Oh, his uncle, that's right, yeah.
and his grandma.
Yeah.
Jacob's there just the right time. Hi, Jacob. Hi. You wanna go ahead and give your report?
Sure. So. I'll get up where I can see. On the EE side, all of our summer programmings are done. Given that it's fall, and we have started in on scheduling for the school programs. Right now, they're pretty well done, and they are going to see every student pre-K through 6th grade twice in 1 year. They're gonna do a program in the school, and every student will get at least 2 programs in a year, which is fantastic. I mean, I don't think any other counties are doing quite that much, but they might be, but that's fantastic. I'm very proud of those 2 for doing that. The DNR, they worked with our naturalists, and they were able to stock catfish in our Virginia Grove pond, our upper pond at Langwood, and the lower pond at Langwood. So the public can use the upper pond at Langwood. It's totally open now. The lower one is still reserved for people who make reservations and or programs.
Good.
Yep, so we got catfish in there, and then the potential for other species of fish coming soon. So just a program that DNR runs, and it's free for us, so pretty sweet.
What was the fish count, do you know?
I do know, I was gonna pull it, but I didn't quite have time this morning. It's I don't know, I think
Fingerling.
fingerlings, yes.
Good.
Yeah, plenty. They use the rough estimates of, the pond size and then stopped accordingly, so. Yeah, we got a recent grant, we just found out on Friday for $830-ish from the United Fund for overlook projects at Chinkopin. So I think what they're gonna do with that is interpretive panels. So as you look over, that beautiful scenery there, they'll talk about the trees and birds and all sorts of fun stuff that's happening as you glance into the wetlands. More great writing is in progress as we speak, and we will continue until great writing season is over. On the maintenance side, do you have any EE questions?
I thought the United Way was dissolved here.
United Fund,
And it's not the same as United Way?
I could be. I didn't write the grant, so
Okay.
I don't
That's
know
fine.
behind it, but it was United Fund, I know that's
Alright.
the title. The maintenance staff, all of our summer or our 3-month seasonals, they are officially gone now. So we only have our 6-month intern left. He adores mowing, so we're gonna put him on. I don't know.
Give it to him.
That's right. So we put him on a mower, it's like, oh boy, go, and he just hammers it out. He can really keep a hold of all of our parks. When it gets cool and grass starts really, speeding up, then occasionally gotta help catch it back up again, but shoot, let it happen, right? It frees us up to run equipment and do other things, so. All of our parks were open on Labor Day, north end of Snively, south end of Snively, Flaming Parade was even open. Got our whipped up into shape just that week prior, so it wasn't pretty and perfect, but they were open and that's what counts, so. We had some vandalism specifically at Chinkapin Bluffs. I think Sean mentioned it last meeting. Unfortunate, they put all this time and effort into it, then that happens. So the board is pursuing some cameras. We might have a funder for the camera itself, and then I'm gonna try to finagle some numbers to make a recurring monthly US cellular, because they'll be pinged to the phone to the park patrol. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on stuff better. And then they're also portable, so if Chinkapin Bluffs calms down a little ways and Virginia Grove starts up, we can always just bump it out there, and then the same cost. It's our camera, so we can do whatever we want with it.
And you did make a report to the sheriff's office and that.
Yep, and there's been a whole bunch of other stuff happening we're all tied together, but yeah, we're in good turn. On the admin side, we finished up the interim report. I will present that to our board in October the 7th, I think. And then we're also looking into selling some unused shop equipment. We have a Massey Ferguson tractor and a mower that are specifically, and then a sickle bar and a bunch of other stuff that we're just cleaning house. It's been sitting for a long time, almost more in the ground than out of the ground kind of scenario. So we're gonna pull them out and get them gone. Other than that, we're getting squared away for fall and changing our processes of our thoughts.
Next Monday, first day of fall.
Yeah, coming up. Yeah.
Guys got anything?
It's still get some complaints from the grass ain't getting mowed very good out of Tisboro.
Yeah. We actually just noted this, I did. That's all staffing. I mean, there's not another question about it. If we had another guy, he could go, but we don't.
Okay.
You have a park, Hickory Hollow, is that, what's that good, for? What's that
Hunting.
used for, hunting?
Yep, it's a 48.
Mushrooms and.
Yep, and
What-
deer and
Wildlife, okay.
turkey, I think. It's pretty open forest in there. It's quite nice. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I drove back there.
Yeah, it's pretty, takes longer to unload the mower than it does to mow the parking lot, so occasionally it gets.
What's that old trailer in there, what, with the windows knocked out?
Not our property, that's
different.
Yep, somebody else.
Is that the one by Grandview?
Yeah, behind the center.
West of town,
The official name of it.
is that what it's called, Hickory Hollow?
Yep, that's right.
Jacob, is there any plan to secure the picnic tables inside the shelter house at Chinkapin Bluff?
No, that was a concern that we talked about, but it gets used so much and so versatilely that as soon as you secure them, then you've stopped all sort of. If you want to try to have a dance party or I don't even know,
Right,
you're stuck with picnic tables on the floor, you have nowhere.
right.
You want to clear them out and have meetings, you want to make a hoop shape or you want to make a rose for a lunch. It would take away the usability, I think, too much.
Cameras, right.
Cameras, it would, get a
I'm
face.
not sure we're having problems with benches necessarily, and how it's them stealing lights.
Yeah, they're climbing on the benches and
Well,
stealing the
with
lights.
vandalism, it's this one day and that the next.
I don't
They
know.
have put, when that was unopened, they took the picnic tables. and
Put
stuff
them up in
out
the
of
rafters.
Yeah, so.
That's whatever,
They were
that's,
wood.
that's just being ornery, you're stealing something.
Yeah, something.
Damage and.
Alright,
Yeah, no,
That's so hard to do that.
I don't know too many people that have aluminum picnic tables, so if you see something pop up in somebody's yard and you're missing one out there, might be kind of easy to figure out who did it.
well, Chickapins, it's,
Wood.
yeah, what?
Wood, aren't they?
No, we actually.
Oh, you got new ones?
Yeah, donation, yeah, we
Good.
got thousands of dollars worth of aluminum picnic tables.
That's what I mean, if you see an aluminum show up somewhere at somebody's house.
We get out there at least once a week. I mean, we're cleaning garbage out for the weekend. We would know as soon as they go in there, we know what that company is.
You replaced them all for $1,000.
No, thousands of dollars.
Oh, gotcha, I was gonna say,
They're about 800 a piece.
yeah,
That's 6 foot, real nice.
Okay, anything else?
That resolution, we're all
When you do the resolution, you need to set the published and do by auction. Just like that.
About 16.
No, I'm talking about 10.
the right of ways up along 70.
Which one you want to do first?
Sean's got it.
Yeah,
The
we'll just
resolution.
make sure the,
All we gotta do is
Set
set
the
a
public
public
hearing.
hearing for it.
Could I share something before we go?
sure.
So this is on behalf of our board. They had asked, we decided to talk specifically about what we wanted to do with the land. Am I able to talk about that in this meeting? They set a price for what they wanted to sell it at and to whom they wanted to sell it. Is that something I could say?
Right of first refusal.
Yes.
Is basically what we're doing.
Correct.
To the landowners that the property is in front of their home. And they have the right of first refusal, and if they decide they don't want it, which you can imagine.
Makes
they would,
sense. Makes sense.
Then it would go out to an open bid.
Yes.
Okay.
With the price floor of what we're offering the first, or what they would like to suggest to offer it at. Basically, whatever they sold the last Hoover Nature Trail at per acre, they're going to do the same. They're gonna keep that same basis. Anyway, I have it's kind of, I don't know if this is gonna make your life easier or harder. It's the parcel numbers to whom it borders and the price.
Yeah, we're not talking about big parcels of land here.
Oh, no.
They're the size of this office, you know.
Third of an acre, I think,
Yeah.
on average, 200 by 200, or no, 100 by 100.
Quarter acres, some of them less than quarter acres.
Come on.
Yeah, they're very small. And a lot of them thought they'd owned them already anyway. They've been there, they've been mowing them and maintaining them, and they were a little surprised that they didn't own them.
In a lot of states, that's a housing lot.
Yeah.
0.29 acres. Okay.
So we wanna add our
system on. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Arkansas, that's all the lots are.
Yeah, right.
29 acres in Arkansas.
I can see their sewers.
But they have sewer in the rural areas. So.
So we want this to be advertised for 2 weeks and do a public hearing on it.
I think we have
We have
to go
to.
2 weeks.
Right.
So
This
she won't get
resolution
it
has that in it.
until the 23rd, correct?
What date's
The
on?
public hearing is on this resolution, it's the 8th of October at 9:30 AM.
Sounds like that will work.
Can't.
Why?
It has to be.
It has to be published for 2 weeks before you can have a public hearing. It can't be on.
It's like 10 to 20 for the advertisement.
Because they won't get it in until the 23rd. Right? For the 25th,
Yeah.
paper.
Yeah.
So you have to be back,
But
The 15th?
it's 10 to 20 days for the advertisement.
so you'd probably be the week of the 15th.
Yeah, move it 1 day.
Okay.
1 week.
You want me to make that change on this resolution?
Make sure she didn't publish it today, this week.
Yeah, but it has to be.
Sorry, I have gone a week. I'm trying to catch up.
That doesn't affect any of the other landowners, just people that. On that right of first refusal.
Right. On these 7, I think it's 7 parcels.
7.
Seven parcels, yeah.
Well, I'm a little leery about land sales,
What?
a little leery about land sales and county sales, I'm just a little leery about it.
This one's pretty cut and dry. This one's pretty cut and dry.
For the other ones,
Yeah. Probably right.
So I've been
Get
texting,
figured out the end of October.
Yeah, she's texting
Right.
Selena, I think, to find
Yeah.
out.
I've been talking to all the
Already said
landowners. And they're hoping that I can give them an update, or that what happens here, I'll give them an update. they would just be involved as possible.
Sure.
So yeah, whatever gets
And
decided.
we had 3 at the last meeting, 3 landowners?
Yeah, and one came earlier in the day, she couldn't make it,
Oh,
because she had to get over.
I'm not really sure, so we might have to wait for the.
So if we would say that the 15th. Put another week back, we would definitely have enough time.
Mhm. Because the only thing is we can't be more than 20 days and with that, no, 20 days.
Nice. The Virginia one's good.
If we moved it to October 15th.
Well, that way it'll give us time for the 2 weeks.
Is that up there? Because I hoped it looked like.
Well, to print on the
I
second.
didn't
and the
know,
ninth.
I wouldn't take them unless I.
No, you would print next week.
So it's before Labor Day, so.
But would that be over
I mean,
20?
can't remember.
No.
No, because it won't go in the paper till it comes out on Thursday, the 26th.
Well, because one is the 25th and one's the 26th.
Yeah. So both 25th and 26th, so we go 10 days from that.
Okay, so it'd be right on the 20th. Okay.
Yeah, I think the 15th. We'll
Yep.
change it to the 15th.
Is that what you want?
I think that's what we have to have.
All right, I changed this resolution paper to reflect the 15th. I'll go ahead and make that motion.
Please do.
Make a motion to accept resolution 202443 that sells 7 parcels of land, and we're gonna set the public hearing for the 15th of October at 9:30 AM.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, there we
Uh,
go.
That's only been in the works since before I had election.
$3,130.
Things are happening.
Okay, 16.
As you got the other pictures, I'll do that.
I think she said she just typed back.
So there you go, Jacob, 15th of October is the public hearing,
What time did you say?
9:30. They don't necessarily have to be here, they can if they want to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the opportunity for
Comments.
other people to say, no, don't sell it, or,
Absolutely.
you know,
Yeah, I'll just let them know.
regular board meeting here.
it's a regular board meeting, yeah. Where are we at here?
16.
16.
Somebody,
It's right here.
Vicky can't plug into the meeting, but she wanted to make sure that you guys knew on 16 that she was for keeping the compensation board.
Okay,
You need to read this or?
I'll read it because it's on a piece of paper. So, I believe the state is the one that dissolved the compensation board.
When they did that house file.
And so it's dissolved unless each individual county decides they want to keep it. Is that correct?
Correct.
Well, I'll be the one to say it. I'm not for it, so. I think it's another layer of government that we don't need, and I've been at a couple of those meetings, and I'll be honest with you, they're not the friendliest meeting for a supervisor, so.
So this is more your negotiations for wages and that kind of stuff. Well, who does it then if they don't do it?
for elected officials,
Say it again.
it's for elected officials.
Right, I get that, but who would do it if they don't do it? Who's gonna negotiate wages?
Each individual department would negotiate their own
With the board.
with the board. Cause right now, well, not right now, before the compensation board, they met and they all were kind of together. And they recommended a rate, and
Is this what happened last year or the year before where we put out 20% raises?
that, well, that's part of it, but. I'll just speak on my experience that I had when I first came on, and it. It felt like the compensation board. I wanna go so far as say weaponized it, but they stack a deck and. Where they come in and they'll say, we want. 30% raise, I'm just throwing numbers out, 30% raise, but the supervisors we're only gonna recommend 2. And you can only lower the rates equally. So if we say no, we're gonna cut that in half. They get 15 and then supervisors get 1. So it's a diminishing return to the point where they can kind of dictate really the raise that they want. And it's just kind of strange in that meeting that they kind of get their friends together and that speak for them, because the department heads really don't speak. Their representatives speak. It's just I found it kind of an odd way of doing it personally. I just felt like another layer of government that we.
I find it odd, 20% raise. Yeah, I find that real odd.
I find it odd that we have a board of supervisors that are supposed to be overseeing the processes, then we give the permission to set wages by a group of volunteers. What's the point of having county supervisors then?
It's kind
I
of.
agree. I agree. I'd say you two that are leaving would want to leave that up to the next board.
Well, it's dissolved
If they wanna do it,
unless the board accepts it, is where it's at.
And these are local people they appoint to this board,
Yeah,
and they're negotiating that.
Mhm.
the auditor, treasurer, recorder, all appoint,
A
All
representative,
employees.
yeah.
and then the supervisors get 2 appointments.
And what they say, the final results, finally,
No,
2 groups come.
then we
together.
can cut it by 75%. We always have cut it by at least 50%, if not.
And that's the other part that I don't like, is that there isn't a realistic, hey, well, we want 6 or 5 or whatever.
They always start trying to.
Yeah, well, since I've been here, I don't know how it's been before, but and I made that comment at the meeting. They go, well, they're gonna cut it anyway, so that's why we start high, and
Yeah.
you know.
But it also keeps us from dictating our own raise.
I think the public can do that, but here we
Right.
call tomorrow, you know.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Well, another reason I don't really like for it is we're making decisions before we know what our budget number is.
That's true.
Before we've
And that's
done
how the county and government does it. We set our, all of our givings as far as to benefits to other departments and stuff before we know what our final number is. Our final number usually don't come in until middle of January. We're doing all this stuff in December and early January and not knowing what our bottom number is because all the numbers are not back through all the. So it's hard and I think it hurts a lot of people's feelings when they come in here and they want, say, realistic, say if they came in and they wanted 6%. And we could only give 2 or could give a raise. And I think it puts false, they feel like they got something taken away. And that's where I don't like it, because I think, to be fair, I think, every board and future boards, if there's money available, then, give it to your employees, but you gotta be honest with your employees. And I think that's where I don't like another board telling you or another group telling you where you have to be at when they compare it to other counties and we're not the other counties and we have our own isolated problems and stuff, but that's how I feel about it. This all happens before we know what number we can get.
I think the intentions when it was first started
Was good.
were good, but I think it has dissolved to the point where it's an animosity thing. It's a tit for tat kind of deal. And since I've been here anyway, and it's just yeah, it's kind of strange.
Well, I think Randy's got a good idea of the next board. I'm sure they're gonna feel the same way you do. But you know, when you're getting posted out to a new board and.
Well, and it's hard for new board members to come on because they've never experienced that. So for me, when I came on board, I didn't know. I went up into the room and opened the door and they all looked at me like I was a leper.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
And you could go there and not even mention that the budget was looking south or north or red or green. You could, yeah, just sit there and take it.
I also think it takes a lot away from the board. It should be your. Should be your responsibility. So
We'll try it.
you guys do it, you know, Vote on it how you want.
Table it for the next board or vote on it?
Either way, I need a motion.
You don't need, it can die for lack of emotion, right? I'm not gonna make a motion.
I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, you get your way.
Can we talk a little bit about 14 before it gets here? I've had some email problems. I don't know if it's come up in any emails, but I'm not unaware of what that's all about.
Yeah, I know.
I'm hoping,
You don't know
I've
either?
got a few emails on it, but all of a sudden they went out of some agreement with us and the Iowa State Economic Development. Don't, I hope Adam can shed more light on it.
Yeah, we'll have to listen to ASX. I can't answer any on that either.
I'm sure it comes down to money. It always does.
Well, but they want out of it though.
Here's an email.
Okay, she has an email right here.
Yeah, this is it.
And it's probably all of that construction.
So did they get in on something when they built something?
Yes,
And how long ago has that been?
5 years, maybe 4 or 5.
Okay, when they did that.
When they did a safe kill or something, it was PETA
Did they get some grant money out of the
Yes.
deal or something?
got a lot of grant money. And forgiving on property taxes.
So why would we forgive that?
Well, I think it puts them under. Let me read this.
Maybe we'll just leave it for Adam to.
Said there was no local property tax abatement, so probably not much impact to the county, but it was basically we need to have one. I thought we forgive, for, was it 10 or 20 years on that? You looking the same thing? They,
No, I can't remember.
there was $10 million or something, and we forgive the future of that addition cost. Well, listen what he has to say on that. And let's see. What's it what on the shoulder? Is that it there? What's the street range? Yeah, you should have. So, forward.
What are you looking for?
It was about the weather for the shelter.
Oh, I handed it to Sean, or then maybe back to you.
Yep.
So thank you from the way women's shelter. We could. Like we could do our 9:30 early.
Hey, Brian, let's go ahead and get you going. All right.
Right, what's your subdivision? I don't know where it is. I believe Dylan Shader's buying it, but they're just splitting up the house in 5 acres. You got all the paper?
Yep, I have all the paperwork and then there's a resolution right here. So I can have you say all of that if you want.
So you're Sarah?
Yeah, I'm Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Ren.
Full size plan.
Yeah, see back here, I got there.
We're just located in.
Brian Orchard, north of.
Yeah, I know that's around the north side of it. Is it part of the orchard? Yeah.
Like if they're cutting off house.
He passed away.
I need to keep, yeah, he passed away and then just getting rid of the house.
So
Yeah,
the
and I
entire
get rid of-
parcel is what that parcel is, and they're just chunking out that.
Yeah, but it's already been split once, and that's what's creating the subdivision on it. Cause this part is split 1.04, and now we're splitting it again, and that's the reason for it.
Okay.
And it's went through everybody, and it's okay, so.
Yeah, I talked to the city of Morningside, they don't really have any zoning, but they send a letter anyway.
Yeah, that might be more sense.
Yeah.
So how the buildings are being split off. So Dylan's moving out there.
Yeah. Boy, you think I ain't been giving him a hard time, but that's why I can't do anything with the sewer stuff from that, because it's in the house state. But I told him, I said, no, I'm waiving that, and I gotta come back and check that out. You know, it's gonna be at least 25, 30,000 to get that. I mean, it's, you know, I'm.
Yeah.
I might put it up in scan, because I, what's gonna happen? You got them two kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
stop and see it the other day. This is what I'm getting.
Okay.
Look at me and I think and what he said. I had to get the agent to get it done, and it's not.
This is the one we were talking about at our public health meeting.
I got another one, actually, it could be.
I'll take a motion for you guys.
I'm gonna take the second.
I'll make-
Jack Frost.
Make a motion to approve the Bryant purchase.
I want to try that.
Okay, I got a motion. I'll second it.
Yeah.
I'll
Was
second.
I gonna ask?
Okay, any discussion?
No, I totally, I. you know,
All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Yeah. So, y'all got those out there and give me, I don't know. Okay, cool, I got them all, I will do that, I'm gonna have to sign or whatever. Do you need this resolution here or something? Brad has to sign it, I believe, right? Sorry.
And there's this fine flat.
Yes, thank you so much. So do you have?
One thing I need to check for you.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll give everybody a check. Do I need, can I have that?
Cut right to the chase, Brian. Give me the money.
That's fine.
Go, give me the money.
I still can go there and sit down, we still got stuff to do.
Alright. So is this one to the recorder's office or what's this one for?
This one's to the Wise County Attorney. And it's 250. Most traders paying for it, then they get 5,000.
I'm sure eventually he'll pay for it, it's agreed.
But my windshield in my Ranger Sunday afternoon at Tyler's Lindy's birthday party. It started raining out there, he gets all in there. He went out there and closed it and just fired it up, rain looks like he died.
There you go.
Thank you.
Wait.
Tell him not to help you next time.
No.
She got, so now who do, okay. I'm gonna go with Tammy so I can leave her a check. Do you want us to do it in the middle of the meeting or we can step out in the hallway? Is that more, that makes more sense? Yeah, that makes more sense. Tammy, you would come this way?
Does Tammy want to be here for the next motion to put?
I'd like to get, I was gonna go to the recorder's office.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I'll be right here. Yeah, sorry.
Alright.
Okay, number 12.
Okay, I'll make the motion to appoint Austin Hayes on our planning and zoning and the Board of Adjustment boards.
I will second that.
Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Morning, Brandon. Good, how you doing? Not too bad. You wanna do your 9:45 early? Yeah. Thank you, guys.
I see you, Brian.
You gonna let him know?
Yes, well,
Yeah. Thank you.
I know, this is the day. I'm sure you even stay.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No pay.
So more or less, I'd be asking that if we could use the property out there. For the Wise County shooting range, just for law enforcement. The mapping is right there on your sheets. One's smaller, one's bigger, just so you get perspective of where it's at. Not asking for any money, just to be able to use it, I'll apply for grants. Probably wouldn't be anything fancy in the beginning. Got good feedback from conservation to try to maybe use some machinery to help. County roads maybe bring some dirt in when they have it. And apply for a couple of local grants and see if we can get some rock out there, some concrete. Looking for about 100-yard rifle range, which there's room, it's 100 yards out north and south, and that's what that drawing is, so there's plenty of room there. And then 50-yard pistol range with 8 stalls. And concrete slabs probably at 100, at 50, at 25. Again, nothing too fancy, we put dirt and wood in the backing. We do some tarping, and we probably bring in truckloads of rock put in there. And add to it over the next few years through grants or through some budget capital improvements, kind of just add to it over the next few years. But what I'd apply for this year and the next year wouldn't be anything fancy, just enough materials. We would probably do a lot of the work ourselves.
You know, we checked with insurance.
So I emailed them, I think I included Sean on that. They believed it wouldn't be minimal, if any. They were talking to the underwriter, but they never did get back to me at all. But since it's just law enforcement and we're already covered where we go anyways, it probably just likely not be any changes, but I can't.
So
I
it is
can't
not
100
open to public, correct?
It would not be open to the public, just law enforcement, but that would include DNR, that would come out there in Plymouth Junction Police Department if they wanted to come out there and shoot.
Haven't been out there. What's that black?
That's just,
Okay,
sewer, looks like sewer, yeah.
Alright.
So it's,
Where the good ducks are at.
so if there was
good fishing too. right?
if there was somebody that flew a shot up pretty high, you know, there's nothing back there, we kind of went out, it's those, or 2 of those, and then it's just a lot of fields back there.
There's timber.
There's no houses.
Are you gonna excavate down into the area
We'd have to.
to lower that range?
Yeah, it's pretty level back there where you would shoot, but once you get up towards the jail, we'd have to push the dirt around a
I
little
just
bit.
thought maybe if you excavated out and then pulled that dirt up and made a berm.
That
it
definitely
would
could be,
A little safer.
but it's low up by the jail, so I'm not sure how we're gonna do
Is
that.
that where the graves are at?
No, the graves are more directly,
Between the LP tank and the tower.
Yeah, it's stated on a sign where those are at, and then that general area there, that's why there's no buildings or anything there.
It makes you wonder why we let it grow up.
I don't know what it is, you know, it's a lot of brush and trees, I don't know if it's some type of conservation butterfly, I don't know what it is, you
At
know,
one point it was prairie,
okay.
but.
They talked about putting some solar panels back there, but I guess I thought that was where the graves were at, so.
No.
Backed off from that.
graves were between the road and the tower, right in that area, straight back from the tower. That's why the tower's at that location.
It makes you wonder why we let it grow up.
So it was mowed for a long while, but then we were spending 12, 16 hours out there a week trying to keep the thing mowed. And so in order to save time and energy and money, they planted prairie with federal funds instead of mowing it. So that way you didn't manage it once a week, you managed it once every 3 years.
What would be the problem with opening up to the public? Insurance, what, I mean, that's a great thing, I mean, for a shooting thing, you're gonna get the public involved, but.
Oh, or take that, yeah.
I won't go far without it.
Yeah, insurance, I'm sure insurance will skyrocket.
Well, what's the difference? I mean, how much difference is there? I mean,
I never asked,
maybe, you know, it's $1,000 here or there, maybe you get public. People look for shooting range, you know, people shoot out their back doors.
Oh, you let the next board worry about it.
Good idea.
It's what you guys said about 6 times.
You
don't want us making decisions,
Yeah.
why even ask?
Well, I hope they'll have it built by then.
it won't be built. I can't. I'm applying for the grant, you know, I don't even have the grants until November. So it's a next year thing, it's gonna take some time, it's gonna take some work. Maybe something in the public, in the future, but again, then you have to have somebody manage it. Your insurance might go up, your fees might cover it, I don't know.
Does Louisa County currently have a shooting range?
No,
No. They probably go to Burlington and qualify.
we go to, Brown's property.
Oh, up to Muscle.
Yeah, up by Muscatine, which is, it's just convenience wise, we walk out, we got a sight in a gun, sight in a sight, rifle, you know, anything. Just to jump out there and get our certification done, just walk right out, take care of it. Instead of going out there, we gotta ask for it, it's locked, we have keys, it gets flooded down there. So,
And post 13 don't have they still have their inside.
I actually don't know the answer on that.
Because that's what we used to shoot all the time.
I don't know the answer on that.
I'm with Bill Pogan here on this, that, you know, if we're gonna allow that, I don't know why Louisa County can't have access to it too. I hear what Brandon's saying, well, he's gonna do all the legwork and then, you know, provide that for the county public. We got a lot of hunters here.
I think it's something you could build on in the future if you wanted to, but look at the spaces. It's only about half of that space, so something you could definitely. You guys in the future supervisors could consider that.
Yeah, they may be, yeah. More friendly.
The only thing that pops into my head about making it open to the public is how much legwork is there gonna be to manage it, because you're gonna obviously have to check in.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to, I don't know, background check, blah, 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 you can't just have Joe Blow pulling in there because he wants to go, it's a week before deer season, and he thinks he can do it.
You're a big hollow, you have to go through a course.
Yeah, so that's what I mean, to
Pay your
to
fee
do that,
every year.
to do that, what kind of financial and time burden is that gonna put on our?
It'd be a bunch, because Big Hollows is a bunch of time.
Yep. Big hollow's running by the conservation.
I'm not against it, I'm just.
I think after a year, you're gonna have the same people.
Just make sure you're
Well,
not.
you may have to come in now, if they check in at the sheriff's office, your picture, I'm sure you're on camera when you walk in, and you say, hey, I'm here to shoot. And this.
A big hollow, you check in yourself. And then I think there is someone that goes out every couple times a day and. Cause we've been checked when we get down there and say, hey, what number are you? Did you check in? Yeah, we're so and so.
There'd also be safety features if we were allowed to do this, you know, signs back there, we click on shooting in progress, stay away. Different stuff like that, so people know not many people know to go back there, it's just, you know, the jail parking back there, but.
There aren't, so you
Yeah.
can't miss.
You can't miss them.
Okay, the motion is to allow Brennan to further go get grants for that location and get grants for the shooting range, and then later discussion would be on. Bringing public stuff.
John, Parsons did state something about. Ultimately, the plea, the choice would be the supervisors, but. To talk about the conservation board, did you talk to them last week when I sent that email?
I've been having some email problems and I haven't,
Okay.
accessed my email for about a week, so
Okay.
I apologize.
That's okay, I mean. I think still the ultimate choice is yours, and then I'll be just letting the board know what's going on, I guess.
So that
With that
that
managed area.
the only thing I have about that, and he's gonna went on to answer it, and maybe
This is not conservation.
make sure that that area is not under some sort of a grant for. Monarch butterflies or something, we're gonna,
That's what I was wondering.
Tie it up.
it's already tied up some way that we can't do
All
something.
of, but I don't.
Okay.
No. Yeah, and if it is.
Yeah, I just, yeah,
I'll apply for something else.
I'm the new guy here, so I just make sure that.
To my knowledge, it's 100% Louisa County, it's not conservation, it's never been put into a verified part.
That's what I was ultimately wondering.
The front wasn't either, you know.
That was a self-appointed deal.
I'll make the motion for the first step here to see what we can get done, to allow Brandon to apply for some grants and
In that location.
in that location, yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. See where this goes, you never know.
That's in my.
Okay, we're waiting on items.
Yeah, that'll get you used to it.
Hey, I have a question if I can interject.
Yeah, you had your time.
I asked for permission. There was some confusion in our board meeting about how many public hearings it would take to sell these parcels that we were discussing. I forgot to mention it during my section. The one that you guys are gonna host here, that is it. And then the board of supervisors will sell the land. That's how I understand it.
That's true.
So the county conservation board will not have to do anything past what we just did today.
No.
Good catch.
It's an our answer.
And if a lot of public shows up, then we'll have a second hearing.
Okay, that's fine,
If it's, you know, contested
but
or.
it's not the county conservation board's.
Where does the funds go once you sell
Back to conservation, as far as there's land acquisition
Well,
That's
funds,
correct.
Wherever he deposits it, once he gets.
just like when you sold the other property.
Six.
Isn't that the property you sold over Morning Sun? Is that where the money went?
I don't know.
In the land acquisition fund?
I'm talking to him.
Oh,
He's
I'm sorry.
figuring off in the space. The land you sold for the River Nature Trail of Morning Sun. Is that where?
I think it stayed in conservation,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I'd assume that's,
We just got to do the dirty work here of the
Yeah.
public
Yeah,
hearing.
right,
Because
right.
it's Still the public's ground,
right,
but
right.
somehow conservation way back in Jim's day got the management control of it.
That makes sense?
Yes, I wanted to absolutely make sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, we all assume the same thing, but it's nice to know for sure.
Absolutely. Public meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all I have. Do you have anything else, Cody?
Thank you.
Yeah.
We can work on claims, can't we?
Yeah.
Leah said she was having a problem out at Board of Health with one of her handicap buttons. And they come back and they replace the battery and it lasts like a week and then they replace the button and it's. I was gonna,
I'm talking about the door opener.
yeah, I was gonna talk to them a little bit more about it.
Burlington Glass is who
Said they were having some issues.
installed
with that.
that.
And I do believe that a handicap door gets used quite a bit out there.
Mhm.
Can I go ahead and have you sign that?
Sure.
That's that resolution for the subdivision. She took it before you signed it.
I think I'll make a recommendation for them to get away from the battery operated ones, go to hard.
I signed one.
Oh,
They
you did.
won't have that
sign
issue.
I'll sign another one.
that? Okay, just. in case.
Mhm.
You should want-
To get power out and like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a brick wall, yeah.
Mhm. I don't want to call you.
No, that's good. Did they get that worked out on the late payment for lawful on the law enforcement? Did they get that moved back to previous year?
We can't.
So what's that gonna do to the budgets?
It'll just increase that revenue for that fund. So we'll just have to do a budget amendment for increased revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. it's-
But what did it do to our last budget? Would it show it negative?
I don't know what the account,
We were pretty positive.
yeah, I think you were pretty positive, because you had other things that
Yeah.
came in.
Well, it's referred to, you know what, there was 2 months. Forgot to put it forward to the city council, so we got after the July.
And that's gonna be just an ongoing problem, really, and I think to solve it, I think all payments in the future need to be due July, beginning of every fiscal year, just pay the whole thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
'Cause you
we
can't-
just can't get into this because it's gonna throw the budget off.
Oh, I know, I think they all need to be due, instead of monthly, be due right, because it's already budgeted through the city councils. Just get it paid in July.
We're all at
Maybe
the
give
same
them,
time.
maybe give them 30 days to get it all prepared, but pay every single one of them, you pay in July. So we
You'll
talked,
have to give them a warning on that because a lot of the cities don't have the funds to necessarily pay all at once too.
well. They should, because it's budgeted in their new budget.
It's
You know.
budgeted, but they don't necessarily receive the money until the taxes are paid.
Well, as long as we get it well before July or June of that same year, then
Right.
so maybe December or something.
Right.
Okay,
After
but the 28Es are wrote in a way that it's set up for monthly payments. I just looked at it the other day. Instead of lump sum. Now, Waplo's is lump sum, but the other ones are
Something maybe
monthly
work on.
payments.
Yeah. Cause it'd be better if you had the money lump sum.
I would think so, yeah, just to see, and then anything extra is good, you know.
I just see that could create when we have our books audited.
It created problems this year because we had our amendment in May.
Yeah.
Funds in early June, and we spent some of that stuff because it was
Yeah.
grants,
And it
but
wasn't there.
it never got billed until July,
Yeah.
so we're stuck with some mess from last year, which we can amend or just see how the budget goes.
On the ambulance, you've appropriated, 3 months to give the different ambulances money, is that correct? And then that expires at the end of September.
Yes.
What happened to that money that is not appropriated, that you appropriated last year? From October 1st to June 30th? Because you had $140,000 last year, is that correct?
Stays in the general fund.
It just stays in the general
We were
fund.
taking the money out of the
That's not
general
right.
fund to spend, so it stays in the
I
general.
think, so that's available then to spend other ways.
But
It's
it was,
not, you aren't gonna put that into a special fund, then in case the ambulance gets in trouble.
It's been calculated into our
No.
this year's budget of not spending that out of the general fund, so it's already been calculated.
So it's
in the
been
budget.
taken, so you,
And then this
Spend that.
emergency services tax supposedly takes care of it.
There's only one fund for an ambulance.
And it's being funded out of that now,
okay,
so,
so that's been, will be, is being used in other parts of the budget.
other areas of the county,
Right.
yeah.
Like parting gift for Brad and Chris.
Yeah, well, it sounds like we're gone now.
Tar and feather.
Well, we all.
Didn't we, weren't we elected December 31st?
Last time you was, well, I like when you set things up for the new board, yeah, that's what I like. You guys are eating steak.
We're not gone yet.
Eating steak? No, it's hot.
You guys are eating
Trust
steak,
me.
and we're gonna live off a hot dog.
You go look at my freezer, it's some steaks in my freezer. I'm a hamburger guy.
Ground up steak.
Ron, have you set up the EMS meeting yet?
Next week, I haven't picked the day yet, I'm trying to make sure everybody's able to be there together, so. There's still questions pop up every once in a while, and I'm sure the first couple of months, there'll be some. Back and forth, but once we get it hammered out.
Your emails, since you can't see.
Yeah, right. My battery on my laptop blew up, so.
Hey, Justin, it's me again. How you doing? Hey, who would you recommend to use for that? Can we get that set up for them to come in, like on the relief valve for the LP tank and the regulator? Who do you have to do that? Can we get that set up? Okay. But we can get that, because, with you guys filming it, that's part of your requirements too, to have a. Yeah. Yeah. Could you do that? Let me know what it's gonna cost us, and then we can get it approved. And get it done. Can you do that, please? Okay, thanks so much, man. Bye.
They were out there last week and discovered that everything this week, it's pretty bad.
How's things on the K road, keeping them under control out there?
Want to take it through.
Good, that's what that guy wants.
No accidents, so it's gonna get messed with.
That's the main thing.
The other night I drove by there. Small town.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of kids and they see who could run the fastest by them.
I bet it will.
Let's-
That's how I tested, see if it worked.
There was a whole four-wheeler full of
No,
them. They
right.
were taking.
Wonderful.
The thing is on the K road, if we don't slow them down, they're gonna close the road.
Yeah.
So we've gotta keep them slowed down. Otherwise, it's gonna ruin it for everybody.
This state patrol's been helping too, that's their thing, but we're attempting to help.
It was actually sitting at that intersection.
Alan was, yeah, he's out there.
Is that the maroon Dodge Charger?
Yeah.
He had somebody nailed when I came to get.
He was sitting right below the hill at your house.
Stay at that end.
Yeah, met his son the other day, pretty good kid too.
And his wife, that's just started the school here, so very nice family.
Yeah, good to have him. October 1st. For the public hearing on the roads too, it's 7. I think it's the date. For the DOT meeting, just for everybody knows.
No, that's right now. Is that a public?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Well, they've been. Following us on the schedule for a month.
That's our meeting.
It's at the Briggs Center.
They'll have it open to the public.
That's
And-
Tuesday though. It'd be in the evening, isn't it?
Yeah, it's easy.
6 to 5:30 to 6, 7:30 or something. I saw the text that came through.
I just want to say it officially and.
Adam sent me a text on that, I think.
Is everybody comfortable with the claims?
Yeah.
Is he, you look at it some earlier, what was you?
Yeah, I just had some questions on suspension.
You say that's October 1?
Gonna give it to you here in a second.
Okay.
5 to 7, October 1st at the Briggs Center.
And what are you calling this meeting?
It's a DOT meeting for the road for approval. It's public comment.
Yeah, okay.
Will all of you be there?
Yes, I'll be there for sure.
Yes.
So let's put all three of us
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, do a special.
Yeah, 5 to 7.
But I wanted to get that out.
I'm assuming they're putting it in the paper. I know they did.
Well, yeah, but I want to make sure we say it
Yeah.
tonight to get the word out.
I kind of want them to think that they're just sneaking something
It
about it.
definitely affects our community, so make sure everybody's involved.
6 o'clock, is that what time it is?
5 to
5
7.
to 7. Okay.
Did you make a motion on the claims, Chris?
I will, I'll make a motion to approve the claims. For $194,031.02.
I will second that.
Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
And who started the signature one for the initials?
It's right here.
You're not, we got it. Just for you guys know, Adam was not here today, so no road updates, so that's not on there. And we're waiting for Adam Parsons right now. Call,
Talk about this type.
you may call and see.
Yeah.
Was it mentioned or brought up, I know I was here a while ago and Mark Kemper was talking about an issue at this place, has that been?
He was working out last week.
Last week.
Yep. I can't tell you if it got done.
I seen him Friday, he didn't complain, so they must have got it. Well, there was some. Pipes under the road washed out that they were having to dig into a footer.
Kind of like a remodel project.
Yeah. And. He's gonna take expensive pipe, cause there's 14 foot of fill on top of it. Double wall.
You might be in court this morning.
And he didn't answer, so I got
Bill Schrader.
Hi, this is Brad. How you doing today? Hey, is Adam in court in his office? Can I speak to him, please? Thank you.
Trees down.
Well, we had him down for 9:50. It was, he could zoom in if he'd like to. It's on the, kind of explain to us that we're all in the dark on this, Tyson termination agreement. Okay, sounds good. We'll wait for him. Thank you. He's coming out. Randy, you want one of these?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Yep. Anybody else?
Oh, I'd like one, but I don't need one.
Say it.
Well, don't contradict yourself. I know what I use. More paperwork.
The only thing on this Tyson thing is that I don't see any copy of the agreement. So I don't know what I'm terminating to know what the agreement was.
There was quite a bit of. Agreement signed.
This is just emails back and forth. When are we gonna terminate it?
It'll be,
Resolution is the greatest item then.
yeah. It's
I
one
think
of
the
their-
agreement was as.
What do you have there?
There was a resolution I wanted her to.
Yeah, this is it. I'm looking.
I think it has the agreement attached.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's about 2 or 3 agreements. You want to read through them there.
Well, it rained spotty Saturday, wasn't it? Oh, God. Did you get any rain at all? We got pretty good downpour.
Well, we got like 4/10 or something.
Well, there's some people said they had 3/4 inch.
That's his bill. Weather. Field view, we got 3 7/10.
It was a shocker for me. There was a tree that we planted out of church, so I wanna make sure it gets watered periodically. So I packed up a hose. I didn't wanna play the game of looking for things at the church, so I just brought my hose, packed it all in. And I pulled into the church and it was mud puddles. And I didn't know that we installed a sprinkler system.
We got hit hard.
Didn't do anything in my house.
I got a Sargo palm. It's probably, weighs 250 pounds. Blew it. So I don't know what gut it got. I didn't know it was even coming until yeah. But then I checked the construction workers out to the DOT and they got no rain on the job site. Out there on the roads.
Right, it's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're up toward where I'm at. Yeah, there's nothing, but
Yeah.
They came back a day early from vacation and rained them.
And it just gives you a reason to mow again. Yeah, it sounds like they're starting another project on the DOT. They're going ahead and going and getting the dirt off of the clay on further south. They're gonna get that all finished this year.
I heard someone tell me, not officially, that like they're hoping to do like 2 years worth of dirt work in
That's
one
official.
right here. and be done with
The dirt first.
dirt up to the overpass and,
They hit quite a bit of rock that wasn't drilled.
yeah, well, just. You know, it's like glacier stone that rolled when the glaciers come, so
It's granite.
yeah, Mike's got a whole. You know, piece of granite, talked to my brother, they hold up and put it, but you know, started, he's like a few, well, now he's got a whole 2 dump truck loads.
Yeah. They're supposed to let that bidding out around Minneapolis, October. For spring for.
Mhm.
We're still on schedule on that.
I just like to see. When they had the grand opening, then we did the part of Grandview, what, they had a price tag on it then. I'm gonna say like 50 million to do this. And I think now we're up to 200,
So we're 200.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
When we was on that last meeting with the DOT, I think it was like 220, 230.
yeah,
It's not gonna get cheaper.
well, back then, a diamond interchange was $2 million, well, now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, last I seen was, that thing we had 6 months ago, it was like 6 million.
Yeah, it was like 1 million, used to be $1 million a mile, but I think it's,
So,
yeah.
that's for a bicycle path, man. Like, I've seen that. Money lives on trees.
Having trees.
No, there's all ash trees that died 3 or 4 years ago.
Hi.
Sorry, Colin, I was on.
It's like that, Nancy. Well, we had you down here, you're still right on time, but I just want to make sure you wasn't in court so we could put it off or.
Yeah, I figured you were running the heads.
Adam, you have the floor. We read what you had and then the big document too, but can you put it down in layman's terms, what are they asking for?
Yeah, so Tyson's entered into an agreement where they got some tax incentives from the state. As far as I can tell, there were no county tax incentives anyway, but the county was required to sign off on it. So Tyson's now wants to pull out of that agreement. Some things fell through and it's not working out for them. The state indicates they haven't received any state money yet anyway, so they're willing to let them out, but we also have to let them out.
Now, I was thinking we did on all the improvements, we did not for 20 years with agreement for the taxing for what that was worth. Property tax, is that, you remember that at all?
Well, you know, that kind of stuck in my mind, but when I
nice
had the
thing to do.
agreement, it didn't say anything about a tax incentive for the county. Even if there was a tax incentive for the county, this would be eliminating that
Okay.
and then getting out of the agreement, so taxes would go back to normal and they wouldn't commit to the new
Because
expansion.
I thought we had a commitment, that's what you're thinking the same thing, okay.
Could be separate, it might have just been discussions, it might have, the state credit may have replaced the county credit, I don't have a good enough memory of that to know. But I did request the actual agreement from the state and got that and reviewed it and the county tax incentive.
So the state is good if we. That's all I need to
Yeah,
know.
the Department of Economic Development is in agreement with the termination.
But there's more to this contract than just tax incentive. There's agreements on that they will employ a certain amount of people at a certain amount of wage. And
And they're not able to do
health
that.
insurance and
No.
stuff.
Yeah,
That was with the state, you're right.
I mean, we're talking $500,000. In state tax incentives.
which they're giving up because they can't deliver
Can't
on their
deliver on
part. Yeah. No. Unfortunate.
So the expansion. Didn't happen, so none of them promises could be kept.
I hope there's nothing underlying going on that's happening at other Tyson plants, that's that worries me.
And I can forward you all the emails that I got back from the Department of Economic Development.
I think we got a good chunk of those here.
Okay. Yeah, I think they all came through Selena. I think she was forwarding, poor Selena was kind of the go-between between me and the Department of Economic Development.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't see.
Yeah,
But they, as long as you're good with it, the state,
I'll make a motion that we, sign the Tyson termination agreement.
I'll second that for some more discussion.
More discussion.
And you're certain that they haven't received any type of tax incentives from either?
I'm certain that the Department of Economic Development told me they haven't received any.
Okay.
tax incentives. Yeah.
Good cover, I like that. All right, well, I
Any more
guess they
discussion?
haven't received any money out of the deal. I'm not gonna be the sole guy holding up the show, I guess.
I had some questions initially too. About
Yeah, it just seemed a
the
little-
agreement. I wanted to get a confirmation from them, you know, what. the
Don't blindly go along and say,
Right.
yeah, get out of your
Yeah.
contract.
Originally, all they sent us was the one page
Right.
termination. I'm like, I can't,
Yeah,
I
I can't
can't
do
sign that.
Exactly.
without seeing the agreement. Yeah, which I think they were sending to us, but the email they had been discontinued, and so. When we updated, they didn't know that, so they probably had sent all that to us at one time and we just didn't receive it.
I hope this doesn't open the floodgates, like you said, to start really cutting staff and doing a whole bunch of stuff that. Yeah, whatever, you know.
all in favor, motion passed, so thank you for coming over.
Yep, no problem.
Thanks for explaining it, thanks for making sure it's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think there's any other business that needs to be brought forward today.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion adjourned. Yeah.
Actually, here's what we did. No motion, push it off to the next board.
Okay.
Adam, I think I'm gonna make a list of the ambulance services on what things are acceptable, what things are not acceptable.
We have.
And I'll have you review those real quick. I think it's gonna be easier to say what's not acceptable.
County. don't take
Yeah,
it.
so I got an email from Kelly
I'd take that.
and he
Would do that.
forwarded
Personal
me
life.
You got for your personal.
Attorney General's opinion, I don't know how we got it. It's not an official opinion, it's not published, so it doesn't carry the same weight as like an official published criminal opinion. But it was to a state agency, and it basically said salaries could be paid for everything. But then at the bottom had a caveat, counties are the ones that are gonna get sued, so each county should consult with their county attorney. So, you know, I don't know the other person that, I don't know, the assistant attorney general wrote the opinion, but the one that helped her with it, I know and trust, and I asked him, he retired recently, but I asked him for advice on that. So, you know, I'm not really sure what the language is. I think probably I need to come back in front of the board and explain that attorney general's opinion, maybe send it to it very short.
Thanks, folks.
You guys can make some kind of decision again then on whether salary should be earned or not. I just don't know.
Yeah.
There's an argument for both sides, but the only opinion I have from him is this unofficial opinion that he sent me, and it says, go ahead and do it.